Okay, this is the entrance to one of my two towns that you've been watching in the last video. And this is the way in. It's like a one-way highway that gets you to the outskirts of this metropolis. And before you get in, you have to go through these traffic lights. There's quite a big stop here. And then the lights go green. And there you go. You get a little bit of traffic coming in. Now, if I pan around here, you can see there is quite on my motorway. See, that's the motorway out of town, all one way, and this is coming in, and you can see there is quite a substantial tailback here. And cars very awkwardly changing lanes, and this tailback it goes back quite a ways, actually a little bit over the hill. But the thing about it is, all these cars, if I zoom up here, you'll see just how far back it goes. See, it goes all the way back to there. But all these cars coming in, they're private citizens, and they're all coming in here, I guess, to work or perhaps to a residential building or whatever. But I could try and change this so there wasn't any tailbacks, but the thing is, it really suits me here, because by letting a small influx of cars in, it saves this place being overrun by traffic, and I'm finding it really works for me. This is rather nasty, this changing here, because if all these cars here just all flooded in, then my town up here would get pretty congested. And at the moment it is congested enough, you can see in certain areas, but my trucks that are the lifeblood of the town, delivering the lifeblood, the oxygen, whatever, I don't know what I'm talking about, but here's my trucks here. These are delivering the building materials. And down here, separately, I have, I'm at a slow speed, I have other trucks here, although not enough by the look of things here. Let me just adjust this. It's line 16, and I need to change these trucks, I think. I need to, I've got some money now, I need to upgrade them. These take everything, so let's take 15 of these big trucks. And that's the way you get rid of a big pile of tools there. They're okay, they're just going in, dropping stuff off over here somewhere and coming back. So, autosave. To get back to this thing again, this is why I don't want to change this. This is kind of working for me. So in my two cities, this is the first one, and I had really great fun with this game last night. Played it for a few hours. We're going back up again. We had a big drop because the supply of these building materials dropped down to below 100. I think because I put a drop-off point out here somewhere in the residential area, because I was trying to get the trucks to go that way. But the thing is, I have a feeling there's no demand out here for these building materials. The demand is quite clearly listed over here. You know, this is where they're needed, not over here. So when I did that, I think I made the factory think, oh, there's no demand anymore, and so it basically stopped producing them. But now I changed that, and you can see we're back up to 300 and still going up. And we had dropped down to 915, but we've gone up 100. I'm very happy with the way these places have developed. My aim was to get past 1,000 in each town. I've only got 2 towns. One's got 1,194, that's the other one, and this one called Malton has got 1,031, and they're both getting a great supply of the materials they need. Public transport has been kind of a disaster. The only thing I've got running at the moment are buses. I got lots of buses running between each town. I did have a rail system right here. Not here. Here. I had to, there's what's left of it. I had to delete it because I was losing money on this system here that wasn't here, it wasn't working anymore because there was nobody taking the train at all. I can see here now that there's a lot more production going on here. There wasn't anything earlier, so that's a tip if anybody's watching this. You need to have, none of these things function very well unless there is a destination point to it all. And for those bricks, I have it here, it's line 2. So it's all over here, basically, where the demand is for these things. You need to have your drop point in the middle of the demand, or otherwise you're going to confuse the factory into thinking there isn't any demand. So yep, that's that. The traffic, like I was saying, it's not too bad. There has been, at some points, it's been terrible. And I have tried doing various things, but I'm pretty hopeless when it comes to trying to fix the traffic problems. I really don't know what to do about it. I'm kind of at a loss. I've got no techniques for coming up with plans yet. I tend just to make the roads bigger, but that doesn't always solve the problem. I did put in these 2 motorways here. I thought that was a great thing. You can see this one's flowing along very smoothly, and then the one in is the one with the backup. But like I said, there's no supplies here, there's no buses here. The buses are all taking this route. Not that route. That's just my, that's another thing I was happy with. This is a supply line from the far side of the river. They're taking the planks to the tool factory. And I especially built this bridge here and this line so that it would not come in contact with any of the motorways, so that this supply line has nothing to do with the commercial line, and so this can't be interrupted. That's worked out really well. Now this road here actually is where all my buses are coming. This is not a motorway, you can go both ways, although I don't see, oh, there's a few cars on the other side. So the buses seem to be clever enough. They seem to know that this is the way to go, not this way, because I don't see any buses in this traffic jam, which is getting longer and longer. But this is just civilians, if you like, and so I don't care really how long they stay here. Maybe I'm being stupid, maybe that's affecting things, but it doesn't seem to be. It doesn't seem to be affecting the supply lines or the bus lines or anything. So, and what it means is that I have a very controlled flow into the city, just like a few cars at a time. This is the other city over here, which I don't know why it's as big, this one, if not bigger. And I haven't touched the roads here. Maybe there's something in that. Maybe if you start messing around upgrading the roads in a city, you're going to give yourself some problems. Because I haven't touched anything here, and if anything, the traffic is working a lot better here. I don't know why that is, because it's maybe there's less people in general working in. I mean, it's got a bigger population than the other place, but perhaps more people are traveling to Malton to work and stuff, and that there's less people here. But somehow everything seems to be flowing much better here than in the other town. And here as well, I've also got my 2 supply things. As in the last video, I told you I made this map myself, so I put things in a reasonably easy, it's reasonably set up simple, because I just wanted to see how much you can keep these cities growing. So this is maxed out. That's totally maxed out. This, totally maxed out. And that leads me on to the other question of, can this number keep climbing with these 2 factories maxed? Or is this, I mean, is that it? Can, you know, would I need another factory to keep this town growing at this point? Because it seems stuck at 1,200. I haven't seen it go any further than that. And perhaps it's because the 2 factories can't go any higher. You know, I don't have any more factories, but it'd be an interesting thing if there was another buildings materials factory somewhere else and you hooked it up. Would you cause more growth here? Let me see about the lines here. I guess the blue line must be line 4. Yeah, this is the path that the building materials take. I've learned that it's very important to make sure you're dropping your materials off and they're being picked up by all of these this area. There's no point in dropping something off over here if all the industries needed that need the product are over here. Because I've tried that in the other town. I was basically trying to get my trucks to go through a quieter area, so I just put a station over here. But I think I just explained all this, didn't I? So you don't need much stations to cover a large area. In an area like this, probably just 2. And you can see that everything's been taken care of there. And then I have my the tools here. This is line 11. Line 11 is that one. There's just 3 stations. There's that station, and then there's 2 more in here. If I go here, maybe I can see them. That's a bus stop. There's New Street, just this one. And oh, that one. Church Street. So I'm dropping them off here and here. There and there. Now, could maybe put another stop up here. Perhaps. Let's do that just to demonstrate. So this thing here, I'll put it going backward, and then I'll go back here and I'll add that station, and you see the line comes up and around that way, and that should take care of all the buildings here that need the tools. So yeah, it's a pretty easy map, but I'm really happy with the way this is all turned out. The other thing to say, let me just check to see how long this has been so far, 15 minutes. The other thing to say was that when I was playing this last night, I wasn't looking at the totals here. And when I checked the totals, I realized that my money was dropping and dropping and dropping. In the late 40s, I had over 200 million profit. And then I bought so many trucks, and I had so many little trucks in each line that, well, you can see here for the next, all the way up to 1982, so it's like 20 years almost of continually dropping. What it was I was changing old trucks for new trucks, but the old trucks can only carry a certain amount of materials, like 4, and I was upgrading them with new trucks that could carry up to 10 and 11 units, but I wasn't dropping the amount of lorries, so I would get rid of 20 old trucks and install 20 new trucks. But of course the 20 new trucks are able to carry like 10 times more than the 20 old trucks. And it took me a while to figure this out, that I ended up having just far too many trucks, and it wasn't economical at all. They're all carrying 1 or 2 units. Instead of half the amount that could carry, each truck could be more full. So when I got to here, I was going bankrupt and I had to take a loan. So I took a loan, not of 5 million or 6 million. I took a loan of, there it is, 100 million. That was a huge loan, and that loan got me back up to here. And then even after that, I kept dropping and dropping. I didn't really know if I was going to survive or not. But when we got down to 2009, after I'd pretty much gone through every single line and got rid of every extra truck that I didn't need, I started to break even again. And so now we're here. But you can see the finances. I have absolutely nothing except trucks. Got no rail. I don't know why, but the rail just didn't work. I did have an airport, and again, I was flying passenger airplanes with one customer and losing 7-8 million each year on them. So I just had to get rid of all of them. This money here is for the railway lines, which are still there. So the only thing I'm earning money on at the moment is the roads. But I'm paying $1 million, $1 million every year in the loan interest. It's 1 million. And so for quite a while I wasn't earning anything. Now I'm earning, by the roads here, I've earned 4 million. I've had to pay 1 million, so it's a small enough profit. But at least it's not in the red anymore, and making some money. That's really all I wanted to do. I'm not going to bother trying to do airports. I'm not going to bother doing any more passenger transport systems. I have a fantastic bus system. If I can remember, I don't remember which one the bus is. If I could find a bus. There's the buses. They're all a bit out of date at this point. They need to be all upgraded. Oops, here, line 5 is the bus. I got 40 buses. But line 5, if you can see this line, it goes through the town. Again, I've learned about these buses. I'm not doing half enough here. You need your buses to be going to all the different, they need to go to the residential, to the commercial, to the industrial. It's not really any point just having them doing the center block like I'm doing here. I'm doing okay, but I would be doing a lot better if I extended that line. The good thing about my bus route is that it goes all the way to the other town, and the bus drivers are clever enough not to take this motorway, because although it looks shorter, and you would think it would be shorter and quicker, it's not, because all the traffic is blocked up to about here. So that's quite clever of the system, the game itself, that it knows not to go that way, but the buses are going this way all into here. And again, you can see it's not really a good bus line. It's not big enough. If you really wanted to make more money on buses, and I think if you wanted to keep the private transport down, you really need to do a lot more than I'm doing. But I've been at this for a while now, and I don't think I'm gonna. I'd rather kind of start fresh again rather than do much here. I'm gonna upgrade these buses if I can. This is gonna cost me a lot of money, which I don't have, but let's see. This bus can go very fast. It can hold 17 people. This bus can hold 26 people. It's 800,000. This one is 300,000. I'm gonna go with this one. There you go. That set me back quite a bit. And yeah, that's about it. Wow, this is a fine building. But I'm kind of happy. I've done everything I wanted to do with these two towns. I did want to have passenger ferry here, but I couldn't. It just so happens that the town is here. It's a cliff face all the way around here, so there isn't really there wasn't any way of getting to this. I could put it here, you know, it'll slot there, but how you're going to get how I'm going to get the traffic down to here, I just couldn't figure that out. I've tried, but the road won't go, understandably, it won't go down there. It won't go that way, and I mean, I didn't really see the point in driving a road. Kind of, you'd have to go over here and then drive all the way back here. Just wouldn't be worth it. So I didn't bother with that. And so, yeah, I love the big buildings here. I could definitely do better with the buses. I could definitely take down the size of the private transport. But although it's not great, you can see here there's traffic lights all down this street. It's not great, but it does seem to be functioning reasonably well, although the more I look at this street, the more I think not as well as it could. Maybe we don't need traffic lights here. How about I get rid of them if they're here? Are they here? Yeah. Did I just get rid of them? And then, yeah, sometimes they can seem like a good idea, but if you've got too many traffic lights all over the place, they might not be a good idea. Like I say, I'm really crap when it comes to roads. I'm really just guessing here. I have no idea if that's going to make things better or worse. Just like my trucks to be able to move a bit quicker. So there we go. We started off with 200 here, and now we're up over 1,100. And I think, again, like I said before, I don't, it doesn't look like I'm going to get much further than the 300 and, well, I don't know, 350. You know, they're looking here for 427. And if I increased transport here, if I got this place to grow more, I don't think I can supply it anymore. I think I'm well, not quite maxed out here. Oh, well, you see, that's because of the traffic. My trucks are all stuck in traffic, and so that's why this is stopped production. Otherwise, it's pretty full. This one here should be, that's flat out. So these trucks are struggling. They're just not getting around here. That's something to be wary of. Again, if you're working this game, it's a good idea. It's what I'll be doing next. Will be to see, is there any way you can get your trucks to come in and leave the town without going through the center? This is really a bad idea, you know. These are delivering the building materials. The building materials are here. So if I could have found a way of putting some kind of, it doesn't even have to be a big road, just something around to here. If you could just somehow get around and then come in here and go out some quieter roads, it would have been better. They're really going the ridiculous route. That's what I'm going to try and do next. I'm going to try and give a new route for those lorries. But that was just a quick look at my two cities, which are both over 1,000, and that's good enough for me. Yeah, I've learned a lot. There's lots of things I could do differently and will do differently in the future. But this has been great fun to do this and to struggle with so many problems, and still struggle. But it's great, just such a great looking game, this, really. Once you build a decent place like this, me anyway, I can kind of just, I can spend quite a while just looking around at things. It's pretty cool.